Hey everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I wanted to do a tutorial because it has been forever since I've done a tutorial and people have been asking for one, and I've honestly just been feeling very uninspired to do a makeup tutorial because I just feel like I've been feeling like, what can I do a makeup tutorial on that is anything unique or new? I mean, there are just thousands of makeup tutorials on YouTube. I mean, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. It's makeup, and this look has been done 100 times, but I thought about it for myself. I have so many YouTubers that I watch a tutorial, and I'm not watching the tutorial to see something I've never seen before. I just enjoy watching them. You might pick up something new, you might get a new technique, see a new color that you haven't tried. So this is the look that I was wearing in my November favorites video, and I got a really good response. A lot of people liked it and wanted to see a tutorial on it, and it is so simple. Trust me, it is so easy, and my tutorials are not perfect, and they can get messy, and I show you how to fix things. So that's it. It just uses 3 eyeshadow shades. They all happen to be from MAC. I only have like 4 or 5 MAC eyeshadow shades to begin with, but the ones that I have I really like. So if you want to see how I did this, keep watching, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks. So to start, I want to prime my lids, and for that I use my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly, and I use this every single day. I'm sure there are, if I used Urban Decay or some other eyeshadow primer, it would make my eyeshadow last longer, but I just love this. It's a little bit tacky. I mean, I don't want to say that and make it seem like it's sticky, but because it's a creamy texture, your shadow really sticks to it. It makes them look bolder. And I have redness around my eyes, and this just really neutralizes that. So I put it all the way up to my brow, and I make sure that I get it as close to my lashes as I can because there's redness around there. So I'm trying to cover that up. So you just want to put a thin coat of that on. You don't want it to be too much. So the first shadow I'm going to use is MAC Blanc type. This was in my November favorites, and it's just a perfect base color and highlight. And I'm using just kind of a fluffy shader brush. It's a no-name brand. And this is just the order I like to put my shadows in on. I put it in the inner corner here to brighten that up. And then I put a light layer of it all the way up to my brow. I keep it away from the outside corner and this area because I want the darker color to be able to stick there. But mainly I like to get it on the inner corner here to brighten that up. And I love, it's matte, so it's clean looking. Sometimes shimmer for me in the inner corner looks kind of messy and gross. So, and I like that it adds a little more coverage and just puts a nice first coat there. So then the next shadow is MAC Naked Lunch. And using that same exact brush, I just put this kind of all over the lid, and I go into the inner corner, but because, and this is a shimmery color, but because we've already put that Blanc type down, it doesn't stick too much to the inner corner. And then pull it up a little bit, not all the way up to the brow, but up enough. And then that's basically it. This is seriously the easiest eye look. And then the final shadow is Satin Taupe. This is a really pretty, cool, silvery taupe shade. And this is, again, is a shimmer. And this, I'm just using a smaller crease brush. This, again, is a no-name. I bought it off eBay in a set like years ago. The rest of the brushes, most of them have not survived. They were kind of crappy, but this one I really like. So then I just start on the outer corner, because, whoa, that got pretty messy there, but I just start in the outer corner and kind of work my way up. And I like to kind of lay down the color and then fix things. I smudge around and I make mistakes, and that's just how I like to do my makeup. It's easier for me that way. So I am not at all perfect the first time, and that came down farther than I want, but I'll clean it up. So then next I'm going to use my Essence of Beauty crease brush. This is the smaller of the two. They come in a set, and I use this every single day. I love it. And I'm going to pull this Satin Taupe color down into my lash line and connect it to this color, above the lid, and then I smudge it into the lash line here. Then, this is my holy grail savior brush. This is the Sigma Large Fluff E50. And it's huge, and I keep this clean and I use it to clean up because that's looking crazy right now. So what I do is I take it along here, and you don't want to bring eyeshadow down too far. It makes your eyes look saggy, and that's total opposite of what we want. But look at how much that already just cleaned that up. And then I kind of go over it like that, and it just really softens those edges there. And you can see I've got some fallout, but I do concealer afterward. And then I go back over it a little bit with Naked Lunch and the shader brush and just kind of soften up the inside. And that's basically it. And I like to, sometimes after I have mascara on, I realize maybe I do want it a little darker in the outer corner and everything, and you can always add that extra later. And so then I like to go in and really highlight under my brow. We've already put a little bit, but I like to really define my brow. That's just my personal preference. You know, you can do whatever you like, obviously. So I go back with Blanc type, and this is the brush that came with the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. I like this for highlighter. And then I get a good amount on my brush, and I just press it right in under the brow. And I haven't filled in this brow yet, but I just like the way it defines my brow and makes it look like I have a higher arch. And then bring it down a little bit. So that's basically it. I feel like it's looking a little bit darker out here. So I'll just take the same brush that I did have Naked Lunch on, and it doesn't really have much on it anymore, but I'll just kind of soften that up. And then maybe just round this off a little bit more. So that's basically it for the shadows. Like I said, it's super, super easy. Now for the eyeliner, I'm using my Laura Mercier Cake eyeliner, and this is in the color Black Ebony. I bought a new one, but I'm using up the old one, so you can see that this is like down to almost nothing, but I'm determined to use it all. I've had this forever. And I'm using my Sonia Kashuk Bent eyeliner brush. This was also in my November favorites. I love it. And the way I do this is I have my Laura Mercier Tightline Activator Fluid, and it's in a dropper. And I just kind of mix it on the side here. So I just put a little drop right on there, and then I dip my brush in the fluid and then really work it into the liner itself and kind of make like a putty, like a paste. And then this is gonna be fun to do this on camera. I have hooded eyes and I have uneven eyelids. So I get frustrated with my eyeliner all the time. So I can't do the thick, gorgeous eyeliner that some other girls with deeper set eyes can do. I have to keep it pretty thin. So I just start very close to the lash line and add more as I feel I need it. And again, I'm not perfect with this either, but I'll show you how I fix smudges and unevenness. And I have had to really learn how to work with my Laura Mercier Cake Liner again, because I was always using it with water, which is a much softer look. But now that I'm using it with the Tightline fluid, it comes across much blacker and more opaque. So it's not quite as foolproof as it was. And then I just kind of wing it out a little bit like that. And I also like to paint the top of my lashes because eyeshadow falls and you can't always get that with mascara. So I like to kind of do that. And then for the video, my November favorites, I had tightlined my waterline. I do not do this on a regular basis at all. I just think it's kind of a lot. So, but it is a really pretty look for evening, or if you just want a really thick lash line. It closes your eyes more, so it will make your eyes look smaller, but it makes your lashes look much thicker at the lash line. So for that, what I do is I just lightly kind of lift up my lashes so you can see the underside, and I just kind of paint the cake liner on, and I haven't had any trouble with it not lasting very well. But then again, I don't do this very often, so. And you want to smudge it into your lashes as well. The goal is to not be able to see your lid skin. So I think that's good. You can see I kind of smudged a little bit, but here, and then to bring it down, this brush is harder to work with on the lower lash line than the angled brush that I usually use, but I don't put any extra on it. I just use what's left because I don't like too much of a defined line, but I just smudge along the lash line and kind of connect it here to the upper. So I just like the way that that looks. And if I was just doing a day-to-day look, that is all I would do. But for this, I line my waterline. So when you're doing that with this, you want a very dry paste. You don't want to have too much of the fluid because then it kind of bleeds into your eye and it blinks right out, but you want it to be a little bit drier. So I just kind of take what's on my brush and line my waterline softly. And this is not as dark as if you would use a pencil, but I like the way it looks. It's a little bit of a softer look. So that is it for the liner. Now I did smudge a little bit. Let me find my other brush. Here's another bent eyeliner brush. This is actually like a nail art brush, but I use it for makeup. So what I do is I just take whatever shadow I have on my lid, which is the Naked Lunch pretty much. Take it, just any kind of tiny little brush, get your shadow on it, and then go over anywhere that you smudged it all. And that pretty much took care of it. I have a little bit of a thinner line here than I'd like, so I'll just go back over with the cake liner. And that's basically it. Now time for mascara. I'm curling my lashes. This is my Sally Hansen eyelash curler. Works just fine. And I just try and get as close to the base as I can and kind of softly curl it at different places so that I get a nice natural round curl. And using CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume in Very Black. And I just start at the base of my lashes and wiggle my way up. And I love this mascara. It's the best one I've tried at the drugstore. It doesn't smudge at all. Lasts all day on me. It's amazing at building volume, and the brush is one that you can just keep going over your lashes and it just continues to separate them. It doesn't, some mascaras you have to be really careful because they end up, the more you put on or the more you go over them, they end up making all your lashes kind of stick together. And then I do it on the bottom too. All right, that's it for mascara. Now to do my brows, I use my Mary Kay Brow Definer Pencil in the color Blonde. Best brow product I've ever used. You can see that I obviously need a new one. This is like left to nothing, but just the perfect blonde. I have a hard time finding products that are too light, or I mean, that are light enough, that don't make them look red at all or too warm or look crazy. And I find if I just keep it sharpened, it is so easy to use. And I just kind of extend the tail of my brows. That's basically it. I mean, it's so easy. Now, under eye concealer. I've already put on Bobbi Brown Corrector in Bisque, and so I like to go over it then with Garnier Nutritioniste Dark Circle Corrector Eye Roller. I just put a little bit of that down here, and I take my ring finger and just continually dab over it. And when powdering my face after I put foundation on, I go a little bit under my eyes because I feel like this works best. It doesn't have a ton of coverage, but it works so well at brightening your under eyes if it has something to kind of absorb into. If you put this on naked skin, at least for me, it creases and it just kind of absorbs and doesn't do enough. But if you have a little bit of powder, or I love this for touching up at the end of the day, It just looks so beautiful, and I pull it up to give me a little bit of a highlight. Then Bare Minerals Under Eye Brightener in the color Well Rested. Take a little bit of that. You want to be careful with this step because it can get cakey looking, but I use my Sephora Pro Airbrush Concealer Brush and just kind of tap it in. And this helps absorb all the oils and the moisture from the concealer, and this really keeps it from creasing on me and just it brightens even more. So I think that is it. The rest, my makeup, my blush is NARS in the color Sin. This was a favorite as well. Just a really beautiful cool tone blush. My lipstick, the lip liner is the Sephora Nano liner in Native Nude, and the lipstick is MAC Viva Glam 2. So that is basically it. That is the look, and I got lipstick on my teeth there. Beautiful. So that's it. That's the completed look. It is so simple, really easy to do. Just a couple products and eyeshadows blended pretty simply, but I got a really good feedback from that video. A lot of you wanted to see a tutorial. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great weekend. See everybody.